Breaking news in the last few moments, a judge handing down a extraordinarily stiff and historic prison sentence for insurrectionist and Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio. 22 years in federal prison. That is now, as of today, the longest prison sentence associated with the January 6th insurrection. It reinforces how these sometimes slow wheels of justice do keep turning. Tarrio was convicted in May. With this sentence, he joins roughly 600 total individuals convicted of crimes related to the storming of the Capitol. Over 1,000 charges, others await trial. Those are all for the people who were on site. The new RICO indictments are also the first charges against Trump aides and political elites who were not primarily at the physical insurrection itself. They stand accused of related crimes and plots with the same overlapping set of goals: steal the election, use fraud as a pretense to help efforts to try to hijack that January 6th certification. Today's 22-year sentence and these other indictments and these pending trials are a complete crystallization of how this is all going now. But let's take a look just briefly at how, according to many, it started, with Trump and his aides planning ways to steal the election before people even voted, with then-President Trump infamously publicly refusing to honor something that every president, all the way back to Nixon, has honored, for Nixon all the way back to Washington, that you respect the outcome of the election in a democracy. He said the opposite and then proved that he meant it. And then he said this about the now convicted Proud Boys and their leader when asked to condemn them.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups?
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
They did more than stand by. Now, that was a low point for any sitting president in modern history. The words you heard there alone, while completely heinous, according to many, were not a crime in themselves. Defendant Trump has since been indicted in 2 jurisdictions for the actual actions and plots he launched after losing the election that went well beyond statements like that. Tarrio, convicted of sedition, he and his co-conspirators viewed their actions, what they did that day, as a direct response to what the losing outgoing president, Donald Trump, was asking of them. And the feds say it was all premeditated. On January 4th, 2021, Tarrio told his men that they would, quote, storm the Capitol. That is damning evidence because it completely undercuts any of his potential defenses, now failed as he's been convicted, to say that this spun out of control or was some kind of riot. When the attack was underway, Tarrio very clearly viewed it as the intended and achieved outcome of what they planned. In a private chat that maybe he thought would never become evidence, he wrote, quote, "We did this." Yes, they did. Yes, some of the most damning evidence came from these now convicted seditionists themselves, whether that is a product of personal mistakes and arrogance or something that is also wrapped with the support they very publicly had from then-President Trump. Those are questions that are not of a legal nature. Those are questions of analysis. History will, of course, dig through all of this. But the news tonight, news I couldn't have told you even 30 minutes ago, the breaking news is that this Proud Boys leader, Enrique Tarrio, now has the stiffest and heftiest jail sentence, prison sentence, of anyone tied to the January 6th insurrection. 22 years. I want to bring in David Kelly, the former U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, and my former boss. David, you look at a sentence like this, it is on the stiff, harsh side. It is what was being asked for. It is, as emphasized, harsher than every other person we've seen thus far. Is this justice? What does this mean to you?
It means a couple of things to me. One is it clearly that the Judge Kelly, has considered in each one of these cases the application of the terrorism enhancement to the sentencing guidelines, even though he's gone below what the in each case what DOJ has asked for. I think the most interesting thing about these sentences and the one this afternoon is not just this, but if I were in a position of being prosecuted in any relation to the Capitol insurrection, I'd be very nervous that there is going to be. And look, if somebody like, for instance, Trump or one of his cronies is prosecuted for something relating to January 6th, it's hard to give them a light sentence when folks like this are getting these very stiff sentences. I mean, this is stiff. So if you go back, one of the things that I thought about when I saw this sentence was, you know, I prosecuted John Walker Lind in the wake of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. He got, I forget exactly what it was, but I think around 22 years. And that was in the hysteria, not hysteria, but really we were all very raw in the wake of 9/11. And this is tantamount to that. And so folks who are coming up to be sentenced after this case, I think, have a lot to worry about.